Good morning. It's Tuesday, December 27th. This is Mike Mock with Lansing Trade Group's morning comments. Excuse me, I picked up a cold over the holiday weekend. I hope yours was safe and sound. And again, we've got a 4-day trading session this week before the New Year's. And then I would mention we've got only 7.5 sessions after that until we reach the very critical January 12th USDA crop report. As far as trade overnight, we started relatively quiet last night, a bit on a firmer tone. We firmed up here this morning, particularly in the oilseed complex. On wheat, we think that's weather related. We've got a situation developing again with we've lost a lot of snow cover in parts of the soft red, hard red areas, and then looking at some cold weather out on the 10 to 15 day horizon. Again, it doesn't appear to be as cold as what we suffered through last weekend, but it needs to be watched. And again, with the wheat market at new lows on Friday, time for a little short covering bounce into year end. In the case of beans, we're led by meal this morning, and again, I think it's a function of weather in South America. There are some folks, we had 3 very good, better than expected rain events in Argentina. But some folks are indicating in certain pockets they actually had too much water and it may delay the rest of the crop being planted. We'll have to watch that. I think the more involved story, the one we're going to have to watch, is that there are increasing indications that the extreme northeast region of Brazil is going to dry out, and that could infringe not only on coffee and sugar but could affect the soybean crop down the road some. So again, after thumping the market 50 cents in the old crop, roughly 40 cents in the new crop last week, to recoup 10 to 12 cents here this morning, nothing out of the ordinary. Now, what we would encourage folks, again, we're really focusing on people that are swapping acreage out of corn into soybeans, is that any kind of trade to $10 November futures or higher is probably something we got to make some catch-up sales. Again, if you hedge some beans at $10.20 last week, you hedge some more at $10 if given the opportunity this week. We still like the 10-10 average based on again, these additional swapped acres, so stay focused there. In the case of corn, we mentioned this, we're using the terminology that the opportunity is in beans to lock in profits. The risk that needs to be challenged and managed here is in corn, particularly in old corn. And again, we are 2 to 3 cents better here this morning. If we get a bigger bounce here, we're going to want to look at some creative ways to do this. There are a number of ways, but they're going to involve option features. So over the next few days, you're going to hear us talk about minimum price concepts and premium plus. Again, the thought process as we evolve this over the next 2-3 days is to make sure that you take a look at what you have to move, over the next 30, 60, 90 days, and then what you may want to work into the summer. Get those numbers in mind, meet with your LTG merchandiser, have a conversation about where the best basis slots are, and then we'll talk about some of the ideas we got in managing futures. In the case of new crop corn, we made a bad technical trade there. We're hopeful that we can get back up towards 385 in the futures. If we do, we want to encourage folks to take a look at a 380, 420 min-max. We'll have more on that as the week evolves. Again, as we make this transition in to the 2017 contract, it's going to be thinly traded. Expect a little bit of volatility, and if we get good bounces, we want to take some steps. All I got for you now. Have a great Tuesday. I'll see you first thing in the morning.